Welcome to today's video. Today I thought I would just turn on the camera and get ready with you guys. I have a video shoot this morning for a Venus lookbook. So I'm going to be shooting with my videographer downtown. It's going to be hot. It's going to be in like the 80s, I think. Maybe not quite 80 by the time we start filming, but either way, it's going to be hot. So I'm going to be doing a few tips and tricks to my makeup to make sure that it lasts and it doesn't get sweaty or greasy. I'm going to be doing a little bit of contour, just a little bit more than I normally do. So I thought it'd be fun to film. Right now, all I have is my skincare, and then I also have my Ulta MD sunscreen that does have a little bit of a tint to it. So no foundation, just a tinted sunscreen. But let's go ahead and start with foundation. I'm going to be using my Dior Forever. No surprise, I have been really loving this when it comes to looking for a long wear foundation. It's been my go-to. The Peach Perfect was for a long time, if you guys remember, and I don't know, not necessarily like this one better, but it's just as good. They both are kind of my go-to long wear foundations. I'm going to add a tiny bit of the Wonder Glow by Charlotte Tilbury just because I don't want it to look too matte. Oh, and you know what? I forgot. I'm going to add a little bit of primer first. I'm using the Infallible Pro by L'Oreal, or it's called Infallible Matte Lock. And I'm just going to use a very tiny amount, you guys. And I'm really just going to kind of concentrate it on my pores and in the center of my face. That's where I tend to produce oil and get sweaty when I do get hot. So I'm going to put that there just to give my foundation a little bit more of a chance. Okay, so next I'm going to go in and I'm going to apply my little cocktail of foundations. And I'm going to use my BK Beauty 106 brush. I'm going to start right here in the center of my face. So you guys want to know a little secret? I actually get so, not nervous when I film these, but I love these videos. Like, I love when I get them back. I love them. I think Andre does such a great job filming it, and he edits particular videos for me, and I love them, but I don't like shooting them. I'm so awkward when I don't like when I get my picture taken. I don't like I don't know. I don't like it. And we usually always film these, well, we do always film these like in public places, and I just get so awkward. So I'm usually like, let's just get this over with. It's so funny. Last time we filmed at a little, like a shopping area close to my house. And, you know, because I don't know, I mean, I'm kind of like modeling clothes, which is so awkward for me and uncomfortable. It's just, I don't know. I'm sure some of you guys can relate. Like, some people love to be in front of the camera and they're comfortable and confident. Me, I'm just like, let's just get this over with. But anyway, last time we were there, and of course, like a couple of moms that I know, you know, walk by like they're shopping, and I'm like, oh, hey. So anyway, I just have to remember that no one is looking at me thinking what I think that they're thinking, which I don't even know what that is. But I'm gonna have Courtney come today to kind of get some behind the scenes shots, and I'll probably weave them into this video at the end, so stick around for that. Yeah, this foundation is so great. It's like, it's really great coverage, and once it sets, it just really stays in place without looking heavy or dry. You do kind of have to work with it a little more quickly than other foundations because it does dry a little quicker. Adding that Charlotte Tilbury is going to give you a little bit more wiggle room, and also that Charlotte Tilbury is going to change the color slightly, so just be aware of that. I try to apply just a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury. I don't even do like a half ratio. I probably do like 3/4 the Dior foundation and then 1/4 of the Charlotte Tilbury. And you notice that I really take my time blending. I'm actually going to grab the BK Beauty sponge and really bounce it around just to make sure that I don't have any lines. Okay, so next, I'm actually testing this concealer today. As you can see, I have not even opened it. It's the E.L.F. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I'm filming a video right now where I'm testing 5 drugstore concealers. I think one of them I've actually already worn, but several of them are brand new, including this one. I've never tried this before. So this is the shade Light Beige, and I'm gonna put them all together in a video and kind of give you my thoughts on each concealer. So today, it is this guy's day to be tested. So let's hope that he works, because it's an important day. Okay, so it's got a nice big doe foot wand. So this shade is pretty yellow, which is okay. It's a lot lighter too than the foundation, which is nice because it's gonna give a bit of a highlight, which is something that I want for today. I want a more highlighted look. So I'm just spreading it. So it doesn't feel like it's a thick consistency at all. The coverage looks like it's gonna be pretty good, but it doesn't feel heavy or dry. I can tell right off the bat that it's more of a hydrating formula. So it might be a little too yellow for me, this color. Honestly, I probably should have gone a bit more peach. And I'm just pressing it in with a beauty sponge. Yeah, it's a little too yellow for me. But if I take away looking at the color and I look at the texture, it looks very hydrating. It really does. It doesn't look heavy and it gives good coverage. Of course, it all depends on how this guy wears throughout the day. That is what's important. I'm just gonna kind of run what's left onto my eyelid. Since it is so yellow, I'm definitely making sure I'm blending it down and in. Okay, all right, so that is what we have. It's hydrated, doesn't look heavy. It's a little too soon to tell if it's creasing. We're gonna go ahead and move on and apply the rest of the makeup. So I'm going to set under my eyes. I'm actually gonna use the new Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder, and I'm gonna use light. I filmed a video, which again, I don't know if that'll be up before or after this video, but using a bunch of new Pat McGrath products and that were sent to me, and this was one of them, and I really like it. It's a powder that is designed for setting under the eyes, and it's a blurring powder, so it is going to soften texture in the skin, and it's the perfect consistency, very, very lightweight. So while I always say it's important not to apply too much under eye powder, and the same goes with this is a little bit more forgiving. And I even like to kind of take it down here on my cheeks where my pores are a little more obvious, because it blurs them and it softens them. Okay, very nice. Okay, before I set my face with powder, I'm gonna go ahead and contour, because I'm gonna use a cream product to contour. I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. This is what it looks like. I really like this product. It can be messy. I'm not a huge fan of this type of applicator. You can see that I have the blush and it's gotten real messy, but I learned some tricks to prevent that from happening. Obviously you can see that I've used this and this has remained pretty clean. The key is to, and I learned this actually from Marnie, is to keep it in the off position, squeeze how much you want in the on position, and then turn it off before you apply it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to create a line basically from kind of right here, like maybe middle of my ear, to where I smile right before my apple starts, right? I'm gonna kind of create that line right there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and blend this out, and then we'll go and add a little more contour in other places. To blend it out, I'm gonna use the 106 brush, and I'm just gonna press, press, press. And then I'll blend into the hairline so that I really work that product around and I don't have too much, okay? And you can always take a beauty blender. I like to be real conservative on my contour. Like, I even think that that's a little too much. So I'm gonna take my beauty blender and just bounce it over. And we're gonna go and do the other side. You do kind of wanna work quickly before it has time to dry too much. It does blend out really nicely though. So even if you apply a little bit more, like I did, you can blend it pretty easily. And again, if all else fails, just take a damp beauty sponge and bounce it over and it's gonna be perfect. Okay, the next one I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply a little bit on my nose. I'm gonna be real light here. And I'm gonna apply a little bit up here in my hairline, just a tiny bit. And then we're gonna go ahead and put this lid on so we don't make a big mess. And I'm actually gonna use my beauty sponge to apply and blend in the sides of my nose. And I'm also going to use it to blend in the forehead a little bit. It's nice to kind of spread it and then bounce it. All right, perfect. So now that we've got a good contour, it's important that we set everything. So I'm going to go in, and I'm actually gonna set with the Pat McGrath Light Medium Loose Powder, because it's right here in front of me. This is what I used yesterday. And I'm gonna use my BK Beauty 104 brush, and I'm going to apply it all over the face. This powder is really micro fine, so it's a great setting powder for more mature skin or for dry skin. All right, so there we go. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to eyes. For eyes, I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows like I normally do. I'm gonna use the NYX Precision Brow Pencil, and we are gonna fill these guys in. Whenever I'm doing a photo shoot or video work, not that I do a ton of that, I guess my job is videos on YouTube, but whenever I'm doing something like today, I really wanna make sure that I take the time to perfect my brows. I think the difference between, photo shoot makeup and like everyday makeup, there definitely are some key differences, but one really is just taking that extra detail and time in the steps that you're already doing. Of course, contouring and highlighting too are really great for photography, and keeping the skin to like a natural matte finish. Avoiding looking too dewy, because that can translate on camera to just look magnified. Okay, next for eyes, I have this palette in front of me that I want to play with. It's the Wanderess Escape palette. I received this in PR, I don't know, a week or so ago, and it looks really beautiful. Lots of really pretty, beautiful shades. I think it kind of works with what I'm wearing. I am going to be wearing several different outfits though, so I'm going to keep the eyes pretty neutral. I'm going to start with prepping and priming my eyes. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize in the shade Jean. And then I'm going to apply this with a 203 BK Beauty brush. You can also use your fingers. I usually use my fingers when I apply cream shadows, but because I have really full lash extensions right now, a brush allows me a little bit more precision, so I don't make too much of a mess in my lash extensions, although I'm sure there is so much makeup in there. But if you don't have lash extensions, your fingers really are your best tool for cream shadows. I've had a few people ask which BK Beauty brushes are best for it, and I use the 203, obviously, which is what I'm using now. I use the 205, which is slightly larger and has a little bit of a contoured, curved edge. And then also the new 206 is really nice. It's a bigger, kind of fluffier. So if you like a real sheer application, I would use the 206. If you like I'm kind of getting a little bit more of a payoff, I would use the 203 because it's going to pick up a little bit more. Okay, so next we're going to go into this palette, and I'm going to use the shade Sunkissed in the crease. It's a really pretty matte peachy shade. I'm going to start by building that into my crease. It's real pretty. Oh, it's really warm. Like a peachy brown shade, a lot of orange to it. The formula of these mattes are really nice. There is quite a bit of fallout, as you can see, but it doesn't bother me. It's not really, you know, falling onto the face, although I have these lash extensions, so I'm sure it's catching it if it is. But the fallout in the palette, the dustiness in the palette doesn't bother me really. As long as the color pays off well and it blends nicely, which this does, it's all good in my book. Some of my favorite shadow formulas actually kind of have a lot of dust like this, a lot of kickback. Okay, so on a normal day, I would think that this could be a pretty good eye look. You know, you've got that lighter color on the lid and a little bit of definition in the crease. It's not a normal day, right? We are getting a little dolled up for this shoot. So next, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna apply my lid color, and I think I'm actually gonna take this shade right here, this really beautiful lilac-y, pinky shade. It's so pretty. I think that's a better view of it. Isn't that beautiful? And I'm actually going to try and apply this with my finger because I think that is going to give me the, oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. Wow. Okay. It actually has more payoff than you would think. Like it looks like it would be more sheer in color and just a lot of shimmer, but when you pack it on that cream shadow, it's like, I mean, you have a lot of color there. Okay, next what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take this lightest shade, Moonlight or Moonlit, and I'm gonna apply that just in the corner of my eyes to brighten a little bit. So, so nice. And then I'm gonna go right under the eye in the corner, and I'm gonna add Moonlit right there to highlight a little bit more. Okay, and then next we're gonna go in and deepen the crease a bit, and I need a little bit more control, so I'm gonna grab a smaller brush. This one I have in front of me is by Rephr, and it's the so I think it's P07C. It's a tiny little crease brush, and we are going to grab Santorini, and we're gonna mix it with this darker matte shade right here. Okay, and I'm gonna work that right into the outer corner, create some nice definition, and pull it down to the lash line. I will be honest, when I got this palette and I opened it, I didn't know that it was gonna be one that I loved. I was worried that the formulas were the real shimmery formulas weren't gonna be workable. Like they were gonna be too glittery, not enough color, but they actually apply beautiful on the skin. Okay, so this brush is doing a really great job of applying it and keeping it controlled, but I want to blend it a little more. I don't want it to be that much of a contrast. I'm just going to go in with a fluffy blending brush. This is the 201, and I'm just going to go over everything. I didn't add product to this. Granted, it was a dirty brush, but I didn't dip it into the shadow. Perfect. Okay. So next I need to add a brow highlight, and I've got so much shimmer happening on the lid that I want to keep the brow highlight subtle and matte. So I'm going to dip into this Tarte palette. This is a brand new palette. It's called Clay Play Volume 2. I just picked it up at Sephora the other day, and I'm going to go in with this shade right here. Just a basic matte vanilla shade. I thought this palette was so pretty. I haven't played with it yet, but I thought it was so pretty for every day. Didn't that look great? Has your blush, your bronzer, and a couple of different shade ranges. Okay, that's perfect. Just to give a little bit of a highlight underneath the brow. Perfect. So for lower lashes, I'm gonna run the Charlotte Tilbury Color Chameleon in the shade Amber Haze underneath my lashes, and I'm gonna just smoke it out with a shadow. Actually, I don't even think I need to smoke it out with a shadow. That's so pretty. It's like bronze with a copper shimmer to it. These are really creamy, but when they set, they stay in place. So you don't have to worry about them moving around. You can use them as an eyeliner top or bottom. You can run them across the eyelid and smudge them out to be your shadow. So when you blend it out with a brush, I mean, it takes on the look of a shadow. It's very blendable. Okay, perfect. All right, next I'm just gonna run some mascara on my lower lashes, and I'm using the Pat McGrath mascara. And I just want a little bit of one little coat. Okay, perfect. So for blush, I'm gonna use this blush by E.L.F. It's the shade Mellow Mauve, and I'm loving this blush. This was a newer blush that I picked up, I think. Is it newer? I can't remember. I can't remember if I picked this up a while ago, used it for a video, and then never used it again, but I rediscovered it if that's the case, and I really love it. I'm gonna use the BK Beauty 107 brush, and I'm gonna pop it on the apples of my cheek. It's a really pretty shade. It's nice and a soft pinky mauve, and it's got the most subtle sheen to it. So it's not shimmery. It's great for mature skin. It's gonna give a very soft highlight, kind of highlight from within look. Okay, really, really nice. Kind of loving my eyes. That purple is so gorgeous. Okay, so next for lips, I'm gonna keep the lips all drugstore. I discovered this new combination, which I shared in my Instagram stories the other day. If you don't follow me, definitely follow me on Instagram because I share things like this kind of in the moment when I find them. It's the Wet n Wild gel lip liner in the shade Bear to Comet. And I'm gonna line my lips and then kind of softly fill them in with it. I do have a little bit of lip balm too, so that's gonna help keep the liner nice and soft and diffused. Okay, perfect. And then for lips, I'm gonna top it with the Color Riche formula by L'Oreal in the shade Sparkling Rose. This is a really nice formula, really comfortable, lightweight, creamy, hydrating, but good color. I would probably say this is my favorite drugstore lipstick. It's so beautiful. The color is just perfect. It's like the perfect balance of peach and pink. It's got enough color, but it's still nice and neutral, not overpowering. Oh, I think it's so pretty. Okay, the last thing that I wanna do, because I'm feeling like this concealer is just a little too yellow, which I kind of am a little bummed at myself for using it on such an important day and testing it, but I'm committed. I'm not gonna change it. I'm just gonna take a little bit more of this light powder and highlight just to kind of brighten it a little bit. This is definitely more powder than I would typically use under the eye, but it's an important day and things have to look perfect, even if it's just for a short while. Okay, perfect. So this is the finished look. I have to say, I love the way that it turned out. Like I really love this shade of purple, like this kind of warm, pinkish purple. It's so, so beautiful. But okay, well, I have 30 minutes. I have to go downstairs, pack up all my shoes and outfits and all of that, head to the office, pick up Courtney, and then we're gonna go film this little video shoot. I'll try and get some behind the scenes shots and weave them into this video. I don't know if this is gonna go before or after, like I mentioned, but definitely catch my Venus lookbook video because I always have a 20% code that's effective for like 48 hours. So if it's effective when this video goes up, I will leave it linked down below. But if not, definitely check out that video. I love Venus. They have great affordable pieces. This video is not sponsored by Venus, by the way. The one I'm shooting later today is, but I thought it'd be fun just to shoot this video and show you what it's like to kind of get ready for a shoot like this. So, all right, you guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video.